In the last video, we covered the simple if. In this video, we will cover the second part of the if functions. This is Excel for beginners. If functions part 2. The nested if. If you missed part 1, the simple if, we added the link to the video in the descriptions below, so feel free to watch that video first if you need an explanation of the if functions and what it does. The nested if returns a value if one of multiple conditional arguments is met. If you want to assign a different value to be returned for each logical test in a conditional command with multiple logical tests, the nested if will be very helpful in achieving this. To write the command, we start with an equal sign, if, an open parenthesis, your logical test 1, comma, a value of true 1, another comma, if, an open parenthesis, your logical test 2, comma, a value of true 2, comma. If you have more logical tests with a desired return value for each additional logical test, you can add another if here, an open parenthesis, your logical test 3, comma, a value of true 3, comma, and so on. Otherwise, you can end the command with a value if false, and close parentheses. The number of times you will need a close parenthesis here will depend on the number of times we used an open parenthesis in the command. In this case, we used 2 open parentheses, so we will end the command with 2 close parentheses. You can refer to the previous video for the definition of each command component, but to simplify this, your value if true 1 is the desired value to be returned if your logical test 1 is met. And the value if true 2 is your desired value to be returned if your logical test 2 is met and your logical test 1 is not met, and so on. The value if false is returned if none of your logical tests prove to be true. Now, let's apply the nested if in an example. Here we have a table of employee information. Let's say all of the full-time employees are level 3. The half-time employees are level 2, and the contract and hourly employees are level 1. I will get the job level for each employee using nested if. I will use an equal sign, if, an open parenthesis, I will use the cell containing the status of the employee, is equal to, full-time. Notice the quotation marks. You may refer to part 1 for this. So this is my logical test 1. A comma here, then for the value if true 1, we want to use the desired value if the logical test 1 is met. If the employee status is full-time, then the job rating is 3. Another comma, if, an open parenthesis, employee status is equal to half-time. This is my logical test 2, comma. My value if true 2 is 2, comma. Since if the employee status is not full-time or half-time, it is automatically either contract or hourly. In this case, we can assign the job rating 1 as our value if false. I will use 2 close parentheses here since we use 2 open parentheses in the command. Enter. I will drag the formula to get the job rating for each employee. In this another example, we will see that the nested if is not limited to one reference for the logical test. We can actually use multiple references as long as we follow a hierarchy in our logical tests. In nested if, the logical test 1 will be the priority and will always be checked first. Let's say all employees in the main building are eligible to receive a voucher for 3 meals a day. This is true even if the employee is not a full-time employee as long as they are based in the main building. All full-time employees get a voucher for 1 meal a day regardless of which building they are stationed. In this case, if an employee is full-time and they are in the main building, that employee is eligible to receive a voucher for 3 meals instead of a voucher for 1 meal. This means that the building needs to be checked first as it trumps the employee status logically. We will use the building as our logical test 1. So equal sign, if, open parenthesis, building is equal to main, comma, 3 meal voucher, comma, if, open parenthesis, status is equal to full-time, comma, 1 meal voucher, comma, and I will leave the value of false as a blank text. 2 close parentheses. I will press enter and drag the formula. Here we see that Frank Wiggins is a full-time employee, but since he is stationed in the main building, he is eligible to receive a 3-meal voucher. And this covers the nested if. Watch out for part 3, the compound if. If you found this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe to Octabit How To. If you need help creating spreadsheets for tracking or reporting purposes, or building an Excel-based dashboard, you may check our online services by sending us an email at support@octabitdigitalsvc.com.